Are you having fun in your business? I mean, it should be fun, right? Well, sometimes the fun gets overlooked when you're dealing with the have-tos, the complexities of being your own boss and actually running the show. It's my goal that this, the Fun Business, Fun Money podcast, can help reignite your spark of fun by providing tips, tools, insights, and inspiration so you can enjoy running your business in the simplest, easiest, most fun way possible. I'll be sharing practical tips and ideas that you can implement immediately, along with business and money mindset insights to keep you moving forward no matter what's going on around you. I'm your host, Deirdre Amies, the Fun Business and Money Coach and founder of Powered by Personality. Let's play. Hey there, and welcome to the Fun Business, Fun Money podcast. I got a good one for you today, something that a lot of people struggle with. And that's partly because it's easy to overlook, and partly because it's a little on the ho-hum, boring side of life and business. It's not the flashy, cool stuff. We're talking about planning, specifically planning your time and implementing the systems and processes to support you being more efficient. It's definitely not in the fun bucket for most people, especially when we're constantly hearing about how to be more visible, go and make more content, be everywhere doing everything. But that's the whole point of it. That kind of energy doesn't feel like freedom when you really think about it. I mean, just a few days ago, I saw a reel on Instagram that was super cool and very entertaining. But the creator of it also shared in the caption that it took him 2 hours and 25 minutes to put it together, to record it, to edit it, and do all of the things. And honestly, I'm exhausted just thinking about it. That is not how I want to spend my time. So we really need to take a step back and think about, what does freedom really mean for us? What does it mean to you? Because my freedom might be vastly different. There's no rights or wrongs when it comes to this. And that's also why it pays to take a step back when you're considering taking on something new in your business. Is it the latest trend? Facebook have just launched their Twitter-like feature called Threads. Will it be like Clubhouse, where everyone jumped in, and because it was by invite only, very exclusive, with loads of FOMO? Well, time will tell. I mean, Clubhouse is still around, but it was discarded just as quickly by most people because it was yet another time and attention suck. And side note, yes, I've joined Threads. So if you want to follow me there, I'm at Fun Business, Fun Money, all one word. Time freedom isn't something that just magically happens. Like, let's say you bring on a VA and a few team members to support you, and suddenly you're going to be chilling out on random Tuesdays and Thursdays while you listen to the Fun Business, Fun Money podcast, of course. It doesn't happen like that. Creating freedom, both in time and money, that requires planning and strategy. The whole design your life cliche thing, that is absolutely true, but you have to play an active part in the process. So that's what we're taking a closer look at today in this longer coaching episode, which differs slightly from the shorter tip, tool, or tactic episodes that come out on Thursdays. That's usually something that you can implement immediately without too much thought or effort. Implementing more structure in order to create more freedom, that may sound like a paradox for some. I mean, structure is all about control and planning, and freedom is about letting loose and rejecting control, right? No. It doesn't matter if you're someone who is disciplined and follows a strict schedule, or someone who goes with the flow and trusts your instincts. Everyone needs some kind of structure if you're going to take action and actually create more freedom in your life. Structure is a plan for freedom. Now, I'm a huge fan of trusting your instincts and following your intuition. I did a whole episode about follow your intuition and doing what feels right for you. I consider intuition to be one of our human superpowers. And to be honest, I wish a lot more people used it because the world would be a much better place for it if we just listened to that little whisper of intuition. But we also can't rely solely on winging it and operating purely on intuition. Trust me, I have tried that. And while it's quite liberating to trust my energy in the moment, and I have achieved some pretty awesome results with it, it's also quite stressful when you're trying to grow a business. I would love to hear if you're winging it in almost everything you do. Send me a DM on Facebook or Instagram or on Threads and tell me how you feel about it. I'm at Fun Business, Fun Money, all one word. We've got to find a balance between freedom and control, and that's where structure comes in. You probably already know that you could benefit with a bit more structure, but it can be hard to break that cycle and really knuckle down with more structure and discipline. That's why today I've got a couple of tips for you around using structure to help create more freedom, which, let's face it, that's what we're all ultimately working towards, whatever that looks like for you. So the first one is to reset your calendar and focus it around your goals and your priorities. I love this one so much. I've been playing around with my schedule for quite a few years now, and I'm always having breakthroughs around it. For years, I'd heard the concept of setting up your calendar around your life first and then fitting your business in and around everything else in this, let's say, mythical nooks and crannies. Please don't do that. We all know that you can fill a nook or a cranny with scrolling social media and just liking other people's stuff instead of maybe doing a quick video telling people about your offer that gets seen by your ideal clients. You have to give your business and your goals the respect they deserve. What I mean by reset your calendar is to take a blank weekly calendar template. You'll find something on the internet in about 5 seconds flat. And just have a play around with what your day will look like if you're prioritizing your goals and your freedom first. You've got to make sure that your non-negotiables are on your calendar. I don't know if you've ever heard the analogy or story of a professor demonstrating priorities and non-negotiables to a class, but it goes something like this, that we all have priorities and non-negotiables in varying sizes, depending on the importance and the impact on our lives. It could be time with your kids, regardless of their ages. I still love making time to hang out with my boys, and they're in their early 20s. Priorities are like big rocks. And then the smaller rocks are slightly less important, but of course they're still important. And everything varies in size, right down to the small grains of sand and ultimately water. Here we all are trying to fit these things into our lives, but there's only so much space available. We only have so many hours in a day, much like a jar only has so much space. If you're focusing on the small stuff first, the easy wins, that's like putting all the sand and the water into the jar and then wondering why there's no room for the bigger rocks, aka your big important priorities and goals. If you're trying to please everyone else and putting your own needs and your own business on the back burner, you're only ever going to fit sand and water in that jar. But when you flip the script and decide to put your priorities and important things first, you're not only claiming back your time and energy, you're creating space for freedom as well. Put those biggest rocks in the jar first. Make a note of what's really important to you and put those on your schedule in your calendar as your top priority. Then figure out what the next level is and fit those in there as well. Your smaller rocks that will fit around the bigger ones. The sand is the small stuff that goes in there if there's room and if it makes you happy to include those things. And also, if you really want to, you can add some water around everything else. Just keep going with the process until you've got your calendar set up the way you want and the way that you need it to be, with a bit of flexibility. It's not overwhelming, and you feel like everything is getting the attention it deserves. It's not selfish at all to put your own priorities first. In the long run, you're going to be able to serve and help so many other people on a much bigger scale. Define what your freedom is or what it looks like, and make sure you're including it every day. What is your freedom in service to? For me, it's my self-care, my energy, my creativity. I have to make time for that. So getting control of my calendar has purpose to it because it's in alignment with my highest values. And when I say set it up around your goals, you really need to be clear about what your biggest goals are. Now, my biggest goals for the first few years in business was to grow it to a point where I could leave my full-time corporate job. It was to have the time and financial freedom to do that. Obviously, I had fixed obligations. I had places to be at a certain time for work. That was all the motivation that I actually needed to get out of bed at 5 a.m. so that I could get ready for work. I could do a coaching call at 6 a.m. I was out the door by 7:30, put a post on social media while I was on the train into the city, and I'd be at my desk in the office by 8:30, ready for the job. Now, I don't get out of bed at 5 a.m. anymore, simply because I don't have to. I've structured my calendar to fit my new goals, my new phase of life. My goals include earning a certain amount per month and working with a specific number of clients at any one time, all while maintaining the level of self-care and freedom that I love. But if you need to wake up at 5 a.m. in order to create more time in your day for your business, that becomes your top priority. And of course, if you're a night owl, the same thing goes. Create the time in the evening for the things you want to achieve. If your goal is to make more money, you need to be having more conversations with people and making offers, sharing what you know and making offers. Yes, that is probably the least popular part of being in business, but it's one of the most important. We all have to get used to sales and marketing if you're going to let people know what you do and the results they can get from it. You can do sales calls or you can sell in Messenger, whatever method works best for you. Just choose. But you have to prioritize the time to have those conversations and to make your offers if you're going to reach your income goal. If you decide to go through this process, I would love it if you'd share a picture of your new freedom-focused calendar on social media. And make sure you tag me so I can see it. I'm at Fun Business Fun Money, all one word, on Facebook, Instagram, and now Threads. The second hot tip that I've got for you about planning your freedom is to implement processes and systems for everything. Everything. Systems and processes are not just for official things like accounts or legal things. No matter how simple or silly it may seem, it could be social media, creating content, business development, sales calls. All of those work better if you have a system or a process. Once you've got a process that's working for you, write it down. Create a template for it so you never miss a step and then you don't have to think about it. And as your business grows and you add team members, it makes your job training them a whole lot easier because you've already got your process documented and you don't have to sit down and think about it. So here's a little something worth making a note of. Systems liberate you. Weird, but it makes total sense. When you have systems and processes in place, everything becomes easier. Your work flows smoothly, and you're not scrambling around trying to remember everything. I have a system and a template for discovery calls, for coaching calls, for how I record and produce a podcast, for the speaking engagements that I do. When I get on a call with my clients, whether it's a group call or on a private coaching call, I have my notes on one side of the screen or printed out beside me. I am not winging that. My clients are always fully aware that I have notes. It's not something that I hide and try to pretend that I magically know it all. If I'm going to deliver on the things I promise, you can betcha there's a lot of preparation that's gone into it behind the scenes. And that all starts with systems and processes. Once you've got them in place, you have magically created a whole lot of time and energy freedom for more of your money-making activities. So trust me when I say it is totally worth spending that time. What's something that you know you need to have a clear system for? Make that a priority this week and get it done. And make a start on it within the next 24 hours. The third tip on how to plan your freedom is to set clear boundaries. Boundaries are something that we constantly need to work on and upgrade as we grow and develop ourselves. Having clear boundaries about what you will and won't tolerate, what's included in your services to your clients, how you communicate with people, and how you perform at your best. Those are all critical parts of creating more freedom in your life and business. I don't operate well if I don't get enough sleep, so I have a strong boundary on this. There's an occasional exception, of course, but basically I turn into a pumpkin at 9 p.m. because I know that's my limit if I'm going to be at my best for my family, my clients, and for myself the following day. I'm no good to anyone if I'm tired and lethargic. So I also have clear boundaries on nutrition, alcohol, exercise, social activities, and self-care. My question for you on this one is, what's at least one area where you can improve your boundaries so you can have more freedom overall? So a quick recap on how to use more structure to create more freedom and plan it out. Number one was to reset your calendar and put the focus on your goals and priorities first. Remember, big rocks in the jar first. Number two is to implement systems and processes for everything. And number three is to set clear boundaries. One of my favorite things is helping people transform their business by implementing simple systems and structure. There's just no need for most of the things that you see out there. It's all distraction tactics that take your energy and attention away from what's actually important in your business, which is the value that you provide, the enjoyment that you and your clients get from it, and making real money to pay your bills. So if you'd like to implement more structure and let go of trying to do all the things, let's book in a chat about Ignite, my private business and money coaching program. This is where I help clients do exactly that. We create more time and money freedom without burning you out in the process. I've got space for a couple of new clients right now. We can get you set up and taking action right away. Send me a DM on Facebook or Instagram, or tag me on Threads, at Fun Business Fun Money, all one word. You can connect with me on LinkedIn as well. Send me a message there. I'm Deirdre Amies on LinkedIn. or you can email hello@deirdreames.com. You'll find the links to all of those in the show notes and in the description of this and every episode. That's what I got for you today. I hope I've sparked some ideas for you on where you can bring in more structure to help you create more freedom in your life and business. Take care, have fun creating more freedom everywhere, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Thanks for joining me. If you found this episode useful, make sure you hit that follow button on your chosen podcast platform so you get the notifications when each new episode goes live and you don't miss anything. If you know someone who would also get something from it, don't be shy, share it with them. One of the best things about being a business coach for online entrepreneurs is helping them make sense of their creative ideas and turn them into a simple, clear business system that actually makes money. A client recently described me as a castle building expert. You've got the big vision and some of the building materials already, but you don't quite know how to bring it all together into a solid foundation. Then I come along and I show you the blueprint that makes sense of it all. I love that analogy. And I'd love to show you your personalized blueprint, the one that's just right for you and your clients. But I can't do that until you join Ignite, my business and money coaching program. So head on over to deirdreames.com/ignite for all the details. Fill out the application form and let's talk about building your castle in the simplest, easiest way possible.